Cocaine, rodents, you, me, this video, what do all of these things have in common? Right now, I can see you sitting on the edge of your seat right now, shaking with anticipation like a rabid dog. So I'll tell you, right? But first, let me quickly ask, how the hell is dry January going? Boys, how's it going? I've just come back from a conference, as you might be able to tell by the attire, right? And I've got to say, being in a suit, looking sharp, it just does give you a different kind of feeling, like a different kind of confidence. There's a different, it's just a bit of a spring in your step, and people don't wear suits enough. I personally don't wear suits enough. And I've noticed that every time I wear a suit like today. So I'm going to try and wear suits more because you just feel better, man. You feel like the fucking man. You feel like him, right? But anyway, dry down. Have you been following the three non-negotiables? Have you? I see you. I don't know if you have. I hope you have. If you're wondering what the hell I'm on about, go watch my video, do this in January or whatever it's called from a few weeks ago. And then come back to this one and then watch this one afterwards. But, gents, I feel fucking excellent, right? And I hope you're sharing this feeling with me, right? Because I've had to endure quite a lot of temptation. Um, Literally everywhere you go and see, everywhere you turn your nose in London, there's a whiff of sweet, sweet Mary Jane. Quite literally everywhere. And, there's also probably a gaggle of drunk crackheads clearly having the time of their life who I would simply love to join. But, I'm a man of my word and they will have to find a way to continue the party without me during the month of January, at least anyway. But yeah, regardless, I hope you're staying strong. I know I am. I feel great. Let's get into the video. I had some fun with ChatGPT to create the visuals for this, except for the starting page, which was very clearly done by a professional Photoshopper, and not by me in about 30 seconds. Right. Okay. So, cocaine, rodents, you, me, this video, what do all of these things have in common? Let me just move this here. Right. So I came across this study the other day, right, including rodents and cocaine. And you've probably heard about it, to be honest. Like, it's not, the scientists aren't gatekeeping it by any means. I think it's quite a famous study, possibly, maybe, perhaps. But yeah, when I finished learning about it, it felt like a puzzle pieces coming together in my brain. And I'm sure it will for you as well, because we all have some sort of addiction or some sort of vice, regardless of whether you're agreeing with me right now or not. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. So in this study, right, the scientists set up a lever, just like the little mouse, my kind little subject. No animals were harmed in the making of this video, by the way. The scientists set up a lever inside of an enclosure full of rodents, and full of mice and rats, right, which released cocaine to them every time it was pressed. And it turns out that rodents, rats, mice are fucking enormous smackheads, right? Like this guy. Like once they get a taste for the old sniff sniff, they will quite literally press the lever until exhaustion or death. Which I think this guy's probably somewhere between those two things, right? He's definitely had he's either had one too many wanks, or he's been on the old marching powder, right? But anyway, I bet there's an awful amount of you feeling like a rodent right now. Anyway. What the scientists found, right, is that if cocaine is removed from the cage, eventually the rodent will then give up asking for it. He will stop pressing the lever and he'll just go back to doing rat things somewhere else in the cage, right? So, I don't know, shitting on the floor or eating McDonald's or bumming. I don't know why I said that, but something like that, right? They'll just go back to doing something like this, right? Like three happy mice, happy rodents, doing some sort of cult dance around the cocaine hanging above them. I had to make ChatGPT jump through some serious hoops, right? To make these images, like, it will not create anything that it thinks is cocaine. So, according to ChatGPT, that is talcum powder. And according to YouTube and the algorithm, that is talcum powder. I'm not talking about anything illegal. Okay. I would never promote anything like that. Cocaine is not good for you. And it's not good for these rats either, as you will soon find out. But anyway, going back to the study, even if it was days, so just to recap, because I feel like I went on a tangent there, the cocaine was removed from the rat's enclosure, right? It was removed from the enclosure, and even if it was days, weeks, or months later, without any cocaine in accessible through the lever, if they were then if they were then exposed to like an extreme shock, like an extreme foot shock, something that's physical pain similar to like a highly stressful life event, right? What they found is that they would instantly run back over to the cocaine lever, even though it'd been weeks, months since they'd had any, or even tried to press the lever. And they would frantically start pushing it again and again and again in desperation, hoping, praying that something would come out in order to ease their pain. Right. And for any of you that are starting to think, that's an untapped niche, that is cocaine dealing to rats. There seems to be some market demand there. Think again, mate, because I've been there, been there, done that. It's not worth the effort, right? But anyway, on a serious note, right? All joking aside, like, be honest with me and with yourself. What are you addicted to right now? Like, what is your vice? Take a second to think about it. Because I can guarantee that you're fighting with some form of addiction. And if you're sat there thinking that, nah, that's not me, Shan, that's not me, I have just one question for you. Open up your phone and tell me, what is your average screen time? Actually do it. Actually do it. I'll wait here. I'll wait here. Okay, you're taking fucking ages, so I'll continue with the video. But I'm guessing it's somewhere at least 3 hours. I've seen someone with 12 hours screen time before, right? And that was average screen time. Like, that's absolutely mind blowing to me. Absolutely mind blowing. Well, anyway, sorry, my throat was starting to close up there. But that just shows that even if your screen time isn't that bad, which it probably is, social media, junk food, alcohol, porn, weed, nicotine, caffeine, all of these things, whether in the literal sense of the word or not, they are drugs. And these drugs are incredibly potent, right? They release a lot of dopamine, which is exactly why we like them so much. And it's exactly why we quickly fall into addiction, which is a scary word, right? It's not one that you want to associate with yourself, and it's not one that you might associate with eating junk food, etc., something like that. But that's what it is. That's what it is. And compare these drugs to naturally released dopamine, right? Which comes from putting in a lot of work up front before receiving the reward, right? So, like lifting weights, doing a workout, something that requires you to exert a lot of effort before getting any sort of semblance of a reward. If you compare that, if you compare those two, you'll quickly realize that all of the artificial rewards, the porn, the junk food, the weed, the alcohol, any of that stuff, they are confusing our brain at the end of the day. Now, I'm not a fucking scientist, okay? I just came across a study and I looked into it, okay? But it makes sense, and I'm sure that the cogs are turning in your head right now, and it's starting to make sense to you as well, right? Because at first, you use the vice, you use the addiction, let's just call it a vice for now, to help escape the pain or the stress, some sort of pain or stress that you're feeling, right? So for me, personally, that was that was that was the devil's lettuce. Trying to think of what won't get this video blacklisted by the algorithm. But that was the devil's lettuce. I think, to be honest, I think I've said way too much for it to not be blacklisted, but I might as well just say it. For me, that was weed, right? And I was addicted for a very, very long time. And now I think the internet says that weed isn't actually addictive. It's not technically addictive. You just get dependent on it. It's bullshit, mate. It's addictive. It's addictive. Now, I don't fucking care what any scientist says. It's addictive, right? Mr. Scientist, okay? And the thing is, when so many other people are doing it, like I said, I step out into London, I get a fucking hit with a hazy cloud of haze, in fact. But when so many people are doing it, and there's no real immediate health issues that come from it, like you don't really get a hangover or anything like that with weed anyway, you slip straight into denial. So you tell yourself, yeah, but I still get all my tasks for the day done. So why not? Why can't I smoke a joint? Why can't I have a glass of wine? Why can't I have two glasses of wine? Why can't I have 3 pints, 4 pints, 1 pint? I don't fucking know. Somewhere in that realm, right? It helps me relax after a long, stressful day. I've been good today. I deserve this Big Mac meal. Oh yeah, Okay, I've had the Big Mac meal. I might as well order Casper's as well. Listen, I've done that. I've done that. And I can still do that and maintain a fucking shredded physique because I know how to actually do that. But anyway, let's not get off topic. The thing is, what this study tells us, right, is that once our brain has discovered a drug that quickly and easily releases a lot of dopamine, the brain would then always tell us to go back to it and get it again in order to help or ease the stress, no matter how long it's been since you've done it. And sometimes it's not even something immediate, like the pain of a traumatic event. Sometimes, and it was for me, it's the pain of not being where you want to be in life, like not being who you want to be and not having enough motivation to actually do anything about it. That's what smoking weed was for me. You know, I would smoke a joint, I would just waste the rest of the day or the evening, whatever it was, safe in my fucking head in the clouds, just like this image, right? That's what it would do for me. I would just escape. I would forget that, you know, I could be doing things to move the needle towards where I want to be, towards being fucking rich, having lots of money, being able to do anything that I want. I would just smoke and forget about it all, right? And maybe that's not exactly what the same for you, but it's probably somewhere along the same lines, if not about like, a traumatic event or something like that. Which, if that is the case, then I am genuinely sorry. But at the same time, you have to come to terms with it and move past it. Find a way to move past it. Right. So yeah, you just reach for the pint, the joint, whatever it is, relax, ride the wave of dopamine and pleasure that it gives you until you fall asleep, and then you do it all again the next day. Anyway, the thing is, once you've used it enough or have introduced even more vices on top of that, you then need to start having all of that just to feel normal, right? For anyone that's smoked weed or even drank alcohol, like once you've done the first time you do it, it's fucking amazing, right? You get super high or whatever, you get super drunk really quickly, really easily, and then you do it again, and then you do it again, and then you do it again, and that repeats and repeats and repeats. Your tolerance builds, and you have to have the same. You have to have more and more and more just to feel fucking normal, just to feel like yourself again. Not even high or better or anything like that. And it's an awful cycle. It really is. And I think all of us have experienced it to some extent, even if it's not as bad as, being a severely dependent alcoholic or even heroin addict or something like that. Right. And now look, I have successfully kicked a few addictions and vices in my life that had a chokehold on my progress, including weed, of course. And the action or the change that helped me the most and that I want you to start doing today, that I tell my clients to start doing immediately, is to adjust your environment, right? So I literally moved away from the town I grew up in. Now, that wasn't the only reason that I moved away, right? But I moved away from the town I grew up in. I threw away all my rolling supplies or paraphernalia, as the popo would call it. I deleted all the numbers in my phone that might allow me to relapse in a moment of weakness. I removed everything that could easily allow me to fall back into the old habits and the routine that I'd developed. And it works exactly the same with food, right? Not just substances. Like when you're trying to lose weight, if you don't stop any junk food in the house, the chances are you'll eat a lot fucking less of it, right? If you have to walk, God forbid you have to walk all the way to the fucking shop to get your fucking donuts, chances are you probably won't because you can't be fucked, right? But yeah, that's the premise, right? If you don't say yes to going to the pub after work, chances are you're not going to drink that night. You change your environment. You say no. That's the main thing. You say no. Right. And by saying no, you in turn adjust your environment. Those two things go hand in hand. Right. So fix your fucking environment. I'm once again swearing a lot in my videos. And to be honest, I'm going to stop apologizing for it. It's just, it's happening. It gets my point across, gets my aggressive point across. So it is what it is. But what you need to do is you need to give yourself a fighting chance at kicking the vice. The addiction that your body will literally cry out for by not putting it within arm's reach. Right. So make it as difficult as possible because if that process is then difficult, the chances are, hopefully, anyway, while you're trying to go through with it, while you're trying to message your dealer, while you're about to put your shoes on to go and fucking get those donuts, the little voice in your head will kick in and say, "What the fuck are you doing, mate? You know this is bad for you, eh? He's Australian, a really bad Australian, New Zealand, I don't know what that is. But hopefully, almost always the voice will kick in and it will give you that second chance to realize that what you're doing is wrong and to turn around and to stop it. And exactly like it was for those rats and mice in the cage, right? What you are trying to do in that moment is a natural reaction. It's a natural reaction based on the actions that you've repeated over and over and over and over and over again, probably for months, weeks, months, if not years, right? So you're not weak for having the cravings, whatever they're for, be it chocolate, alcohol, nicotine, whatever it is. You're not weak for having the craving. It's fucking natural. You have conditioned your body to feel that way by many, many repetitions. You only start to show weakness once you actually give in, right? Once you give up, once you give in to the demons in your head that are saying, yeah, go on, do it, roll that joint, bro, roll that joint. I'm speaking too much. You only start to show weakness once you give in, right? Overcoming your addictions, your temptations, your vices, it's an integral part of achieving the physique and ultimately the life that you truly desire. Now, I don't have the life that I truly desire. I'll be completely honest. I'm working on it, but I do have the physique that I desire. I do. And if you go look at my shorts and my Instagram, you'll see I have a pretty fucking impressive physique. And it took a lot of dedication, a lot of perseverance, and a lot of mistakes to get there, which is exactly why I'm making this video and all the other ones on my channel. So this is one of the main obstacles that I help guys overcome with my coaching, and that actually moves the needle towards the physique and the life that you want, and that I want. Well, that I wanted, sorry. And trust me, once you kick a vice that's been holding you back, you'll see for yourself how limitless the possibilities are, just like dry January. And now when I say kick the vice, right, you can never truly kick a vice. Because like those fucking rats, you can take the vice out forever, for weeks, months, years even. And something can trigger it and you'll just go straight back to it, right? But it's about limiting the ability to go back to it. And sometimes you will slip up. You will. Everyone's human. No one is perfect. And that's okay. That's okay. Just do your best. Do your best 99% of the time. And that 1% of the time that you do slip up won't matter as much. It's about what happens afterwards. Not, yeah, yeah. It's about what happens afterwards, right? How you react to the slip up. Because you can't change the past. You can't change the past. I didn't have to do dry Jan, right? I by no means was addicted to alcohol, but the feeling that you get after carrying out a promise to yourself for literally 30 days, 31 days in this case, is it shifts your perspective on who you are and who you can be. And you start to see yourself in a different light. You realize that you're not a slave to your impulses and that you don't have to reach for the bottle, for the joint, whatever it is, right? If you can stick to something for 30 days, stick to not wanking, you fiend. Stick to not wanking, stick to not eating junk food, not ordering, I don't know, whatever it is that's got that fucking chokehold on you. Just try not doing it for 30 days and then see how I feel at the end. Right. Now, look, I'm going to end this video by saying that if you want to talk about your addictions, man to man, message me on Instagram, mate. I'll put my profile in the comments, right? Everyone's got their own shit going on. Us guys as well. I know we're supposed to be big and manly, the providers, can't show any weakness, but we're fucking human, right? So don't keep it to yourself. Maybe you're struggling with something. Maybe your mate's struggling with something. You see your mate, in the pub every night, smoke. I don't know. Maybe he's smoking weed every night, like I was before. If you see someone that you see that you observe them doing something, you think, "Fuck that. Is he okay?" Reach out to them, man. The statistic for male suicide in the UK is mind-boggling. Let alone the fucking world. Like it's crazy, and so much of that could be prevented if we just got over, the fear of saying that it's not all okay, right? Actually speaking to someone about it. Now, I started this channel, yes, to promote my online coaching business, but also as video diaries to my younger self, basically my way of journaling, right? And I wish I could have said all of these things to myself when I was 17 or 18, when I was just starting out in life, when I was building out the bad habits that would ultimately lead to me wasting a lot of time. And at the end of the day, that's time that you're never going to get back. It feels good to get things off your chest, right? It just does. So if you're struggling with something and you want to ask me some questions or just talk about addiction or anything in general, message me on Instagram. My profile, I'm going to put it in the comments, right? And if you're serious about making a change in your life, if you're tired of being the old you and you fucking know there's more to your life than what it is for you at the moment, then just let's hop on a call and have a chat. Again, the link will be in my profile on Instagram. It's also in my profile on YouTube as well. Let's just hop on a call and fucking talk. It doesn't have to be long, it doesn't have to be formal. There's no cost associated with it. There is no obligation for anything. And maybe my approach to coaching will be able to help you move towards where you want to be, and maybe it won't. At the end of the day, you won't know until you speak to me. If this video resonated with you enough for you to think, yeah, maybe I do need to change something, then just fucking speak to me. What have you got to lose? It's free. 10 minutes. All it has to be, maybe even 5 minutes. Who knows? Maybe even we join the call. I say hello and you're like, oh, fucking hate that nonce and hang up. I hope not, but maybe you will. At the end of the day, as a coach, I don't actually get any benefit from working with someone who won't actually get anywhere and will just waste both mine and their time, right? It would just look bad on me as a coach, and I have no desire to work with you if we don't both agree that it makes sense to work together, if we don't both see the relationship, the coaching relationship going somewhere, right? So just take the chance. 5 minute call, 10 minute call. If you feel compelled by this video, if you feel compelled, if you've been thinking about making a change for a while, but you haven't, let's just have a fucking chat. All right. That's it. I'm not going to push anymore. Right. My Instagram's in the comments for those of you that want to have a chat. I'm going to end it there. If this video made you feel something, anything at all, just subscribe to the channel, man. It genuinely means a lot. I'm trying to grow the channel. I'm trying to grow my business, and I'm trying to help as many people as I can that are in or were in similar situations to myself, because I've been there and I know how hard it is. So yeah, thanks for listening. I'll see you at the top, bro.